Hi there. In this video we are going to look at a distance time graph. So whenever in the test you are given a graph, always look at the vertical axis to see if we are dealing with a distance time graph or a velocity time graph. Because the information that you can get from a graph depends on the type of the graph. So in this case we have a distance time graph. What can we understand from this graph here? So we know that a straight line means that we have a constant speed, and if we have a curve, that means that we have acceleration or deceleration. Right. So if we look at this graph that we have here, from 0 to 4 seconds we have a curve. So we have either acceleration or deceleration. And if we want to know if we have acceleration or deceleration, we need to look at the slope of the graph. So you put your set square on the graph here and then look at the steepness of the slope, or in mathematics we say that look at the gradient. So the gradient or the slope becomes steeper. That means that from 0 to 4 seconds we have acceleration. So let me write down here. So from 0 second to 4 seconds we have acceleration because the slope becomes steeper. So this is what we can understand from the graph. What about from 0 to 12 seconds? From 0 to 12 seconds we have a straight line, and that means that the speed is constant. So let's have a look at the first part of the journey from 0 to 4 seconds. We cannot calculate the speed here because the speed is not constant. We have acceleration, that means that the speed keeps changing. But we can calculate the average speed. So what is the formula that we have for the average speed? Let me use the brushes. So for the average speed, we have average speed. So the average speed is distance traveled divided by time. So we go from this point here to that point there. So the total distance traveled is 20 meters. So we have 20 meters in 4 seconds. And then the answer is 5. And the unit is meter per second. From 4 to 12 seconds, we have a constant speed. So in this part of the journey, the average speed is equal to the actual speed because the speed is not changing, the speed is constant. We can use the same formula, distance divided by time. And then we have from this point to that point, the total. So we go from 20 meters further up to 100, so the total distance is 80 divided by that. It took 8 seconds, and we have 10 meters per second. So let's say that instead of second here we have, for example, minute. You need to watch out for the units that we have. If we have meters here and we have minute or hour here, you need to convert time to seconds. If we have a kilometer here, you can use hours. And remember, so from kilometers per hour, if we want to go to meters per second, you need to divide by 3.6. And if we want to go from meters per second to kilometer per hour, then multiply by 3.6.